Okay.
Let me get this brain out of my mouth. I am beyond excited tonight. I love it when I find out something, I do some research, and somebody with initials behind their name have written about it, written a paper about it, written a book about it, that I can now start calling it something. I can name it. I just love it when that happens. It doesn't happen that often anymore. It doesn't seem like, but it did for me this week. And I really think that this is going to be very timely for many of you. A lot of you guys know that have listened to our podcast for years or whatever, that I've really been on this focus bandwagon for a long time. I came to the conclusion that I believe the most important entrepreneurial trait moving forward from this time in history for anybody in any entrepreneur endeavor is the ability to focus on what you want and the activities that will move you towards those goals. I wrote that in my newsletter at MLM Help back in 2017. And then I went on to say, I mean, this was like part of the article. At the time of this writing, we have 1/3 of 2017 left. If you focus on what you really can do to move your business forward, you can end this year with a bang. And I talked about the fact that over my career, I have seen people multiple times, hundreds, maybe thousands of times, that say, you know what, I'm going on a 90-day run. And for the next 90 days, I'm going to focus. I'm going to give this all I can give it for 90 days. And how for many people that just didn't just take that 90-day period to a whole different level, but it set a tone really for the rest of their network marketing career. I sincerely believe this is very important. Focus on what you want. What do you really want from this business? And then the activities that will move you forward towards those goals. So I've said for many times, systems are duplicatable. Tips, tricks, and personality, it doesn't duplicate. If you want to know more than 95% of the population on any subject, all you have to do is read 5 books on the subject, except network marketing. Because, if you think, well, why network marketing? Well, network marketing, you can get the basic fundamentals of what it is and buy, wholesale, sell, retail, you can get the basics. But the challenge with network marketing is there's a lot of theory being taught by people that have never built duplicating teams. Most people write books in network marketing as a business card. That's a business card for them. Uh, so that's just the truth of the matter. It's just the way it is. And a confused mind does nothing. And when people start looking for the foo-foo dust, the magic thing that everybody else is doing that they're not doing, they get really confused. The truth is, network marketing is really not about you anyway. It's not. It's about what can be duplicated, because our job is to build a team. There's a lot of things that I would be doing right now that I'm not doing, that I would enjoy doing. And not that I don't enjoy doing what I'm doing, but I understand that what I'm doing and the moves that we're making have to be able to be duplicated by those that come after us 5, 10, 15 years from now. Network marketing is the most challenging business model on the planet. And the reason is because people are naive. I was naive. I remember when I first got in, I can remember just as clear as a bell thinking, my gosh, why would anybody work for linear income when they can create residual income? This is the greatest thing in the world. Everybody I know is going to want to be doing it. And I just thought it was the greatest thing in the world. And I can remember thinking, I'm going to have a portion. I bet I have a portion 2 years. I bet I have a portion a year. I bet I have a portion 90 days. And I believed it. I mean, I meant it. It's like, my gosh, this is unbelievable. And of course, then reality slaps us all in the face. Bob Crispin, in my opinion, the greatest book that's ever been written on network marketing, in Raising a Giant, he doesn't say this, but I say it, that most people attempt to do this business with the skill sets and mindsets that they enter the profession with. Their work ethic, their drive, their communication, whatever they come here with, they try to take those skills and build it. And it doesn't work for most of the people. And if it does work, down the road, those people are going to have a heck of a time trying to duplicate, because what they came here with, most of their team will not. They're going to have, and if this is a business based upon duplication, it makes no sense. And that's what I learned during my first 2 or 3 years, listening to all these audio tapes and really looking behind the scenes at what is really going on here. What's really going on with this profession? And Bob does say 50% of the people who join a network marketing team never start. We all know that's true. The start stops most people. Those that do start, 95% quit, according to Bob in his book, in their first 72 hours after they join. They talk to a few people, those people blow them off, and they're done. They might talk to their spouse, their next door neighbor, their mama, and blah, 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 and they're done. They're finished. It's over. Now, today, most network marketers have been in 17 other programs before they find us. So they know 2 or 3 people that owe them a favor that will join them just because, okay, you joined me in my last 3, I'll join you with yours. You aren't going to accomplish anything with that kind of vibes going on. But they talk to a few people, they get blown off. They still might hang around for a while, but mentally they're done. The effort stops. And guys, I've been watching this for 40 years. This is how it plays out. And for my first 3 years, I kept thinking, well, this person's going to be different. It's going to be different this time. It's never different. It is what it is. And to not understand this, for me, makes no sense. It's like, let's just all just run and just beat our heads up against the wall over and over and over. I don't have any desire to do that. This is why, what I've just shared with you, this is why when people join our team, the first thing we want is 20 reasons, top 3. I don't want them to talk to their mama. I don't want them to talk to anybody their first 72 hours. Nobody. Don't say a word to anybody. I want you to figure out why you're doing it, because until you know why, the how doesn't matter. So this is why we do it how we do it. Then we need 50 names to practice with. Now, I tell them this up front, right after they join, because if I try to come back a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and say, hey, I need your reason, it doesn't work then. Most of you mess this up with your people in the beginning. Don't beat yourself up about it. Everybody does. We're all going to kill a few. We just are. Be thankful we aren't doctors, but it's practice in the beginning. It's practice. So when we bring somebody in, 20 reasons, top 3, 50 names to practice with, Well, those reasons are a really good exercise because most people have been working, day to day, job to job, whatever, and they've never thought about, what would I do if I had an extra $3,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 a month hitting my budget for my family. It's never even been a thought for them. And they have a real opportunity to do that here. And then we have at D&D team training, preparing to launch. And it's just videos of multiple videos trying to help people get the right mindset before they launch. This is something that's in yellow for a reason. And guys, I want you to know the philosophy that I'm sharing, I've been sharing since my 4th year in Shackley, since 1984. But everything has evolved over that time. You've never heard me see what I've done this month is I'm asking people, when's your launch date going to be? When's your launch date going to be? And I think that's a really good question to ask people. When is your launch date going to be? Like Shane out in Colorado, we talked, he said, March 1st, Dale, is my launch date. Today, he sent out his letter. He sent out his 10 letters last week. Today, he got his first 3 sample orders. See, all I am doing with everybody, I wish I had a ball. All I'm doing is throwing the ball and see if they throw it back, and throw the ball and see if they throw it back. And I got to keep this kind of relationship back and forth until their top 3 reasons are fulfilled. That's the way I look at it. So most people mess up in these early days because, well, who am I to tell them, what they should be doing? Look, it's real easy. This is the number one question you ask. Listen, we have a system. We have, however you need to frame that, what we do, what our background is, whatever, it doesn't matter. Do you want to plug into our system or do you want to do it on your own? And if they say do it the way the system's laid out, then it's your responsibility as a leader to guide them through this process. Now, here's the challenge in this business. Some people don't have a problem with this. Most do. 97% of the population, when they get involved in this type of business, they got some kind of fears going on, some kind of fear. They're worried about what somebody's going to think. They're worried about, what if I don't know the answer to a question? What if this happens? What if that happens? Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of what somebody else will think. Those are the 3 things that stop people. That's it. So as a leader, if it's fear, I just talk straight with people. I mean, and see, people will never admit fear. They say, well, I don't have the time. Well, my wife's not supporting me. My husband's not supporting me. They come up with all kinds of excuses. And I know it's fear. So, and I also know they can break through that fear real quick. They don't have to go around and hang on to that, the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It can be overcome pretty quickly. So they got to expand their comfort zone, and all growth happens outside the comfort zone. If people have no fear, if they believe it can happen for them, belief leads to action. Belief leads to action. It does. If they don't believe, they don't take action, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't either. I mean, if somebody was trying to convince me that I could become a brain surgeon, it's like, I wouldn't take any action on that. And in their mind, a lot of times, it's almost that big. It's almost like you're trying to tell me I can become a 10,000 plus a month earner and build a team. In their mind, it's just as big is if I'm telling them they can become a brain surgeon. So as leaders, we have to understand some people, it's just fear. Now, give me somebody with fear or somebody that has no fear. I'll take the ones with fear every time, because those with no fear, usually they have the confidence that goes with ignorance. They have a level of self-belief that I don't understand. And they're going to go out there like a chicken with their head cut off, and they'll have some results. But they're going to get down the road 2-3 years from now, and they're going to turn around. They're going to say, what happened to my team? I've watched this for 40 years. 40 years. Now, this is the 20-hour concept. And I'm going to give you a TED talk that I heard this week. I started doing some research on this because Malcolm Gladwell, some of you probably have heard the 10,000 hour theory, which we're going to briefly touch on. But the learning curve happens quick with correct instruction. And we've all seen this learning curve. It's like, how good are you at what you're doing? And versus, it's a direct proportion to the amount of practice time that you put in. So when we start, we're all lousy. Some people have been in this profession 12, 15 years, and they're still lousy. They've learned a little bit by osmosis, just hanging around, but everybody's lousy when they start. I was lousy. Everybody's lousy. I shared with you guys a couple sessions ago. If my aunt and uncle hadn't bought a jar of foot cream for me on my way home from Lexington, I stopped at their farm and with my product catalog, I don't know if I ever would have done it. I don't know. See, that is that first 72 hours thing. See, and I think about that a lot. What if they hadn't bought it? But they did buy, and it gave me some energy. So it made me, I'm going to talk my parents into giving me $25 for a distributor kit. I wouldn't have maybe done that if they hadn't bought that first jar of foot cream. And then my parents, my mom casually mentions it to somebody at church who mentions it to another lady. And this lady is like direct sales, guru, has sold everything. And she latched onto this, and it just started selling product like crazy. And I'm thinking, man, I got to figure out what I'm doing. This lady's going to pass me right up. If that series of events didn't happen, I don't know if I would be talking to you guys tonight. That's how important this is. The first set, because nobody gave me a game plan. So how good you get. If you have good instructions and you're starting with no knowledge, you can get pretty good, pretty competent, pretty quick. And then the higher up you go, then you have to really work to develop skill sets. Your skill sets will kind of level out. And I've seen people that I knew, years ago, and their skill sets back then were here. And a lot of those people, they haven't focused on it, and they're still probably operating at about the same level they were 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. See, I told you guys in January, this is on me. I've got to take what I'm doing to a different level, to a totally different level. What this team is doing has never been done in the history of network marketing. Never. I don't care if people have been around 25 years. I don't care. But it's not me, it's you guys that are making it happen. Because people look at me and they know I'm an oddball. They know I'm not right. I've been doing this 40 years. I got an excuse to be crazy. I mean, really, I do. I have an excuse to be crazy. But they look at you guys and they get more motivation from you than they'll ever get from me. But this team, we are putting together, for lack of a better term, but really what we're doing, this is a franchise. It's a franchise approach. it's like if you have $2 million and you buy a McDonald's franchise and you're the owner, you have to go to Hamburger University for a week. No, it doesn't matter how much money you've got. And it's a franchise. This is the launch process. Boom, 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 boom. And we're about, I mean, we've got so much further to go down the road. Again, ultimately, my vision, all of our leaders, they're doing zero lead outreach, nothing. It's all being outsourced. And every week they have as many leads as they want to build their business. That's where we're ultimately headed towards. So I ran across this. I wonder if I can. Oh, I can move these pictures. Good. Okay, so I ran across this, and it was a quote from Elon Musk, and they talked about how he has such ability to see businesses big picture quickly. And it's a concept I never heard it, called the Feynman technique. And this is from Elon Musk. He said, one bit of advice: it is important to view knowledge as some sort of cinematic tree. Make sure you understand the foundational principles, the trunk, the big branches, before you get into the leaves, the details, or there's nothing to hang the leaves on. I thought that was unbelievable. I mean, because, and again, Elon Musk, and so many people get involved in this with such weird concepts that I have to go out and convince people to buy, sell, or join. No, you don't convince people to do anything. Amateurs try to convince, professionals sort. So but you have to get a picture. I'm going to share some stuff tonight. See, I've said this for years. You can't teach algebra to someone who hasn't learned basic addition yet. There's no trunk to build on. That's why you see so many network marketing gurus, and not just in our profession, but in every niche. And what they do is they teach at the level they personally started having success. I see this all the time. And they don't understand the road that got them to that success. They don't understand the trunk, the foundation, the experience that got them to that point. They don't get it. So they try to start teaching people algebra that have not learned basic addition yet. They're trying to teach people how to buy a yacht because that's their dream. And these people, they have no clue. They haven't even thought about why they're doing it. I could go on and on. I don't want to waste time here, but I love this. I just love this. This quote, this is a continuation of that article. He says, this ability to deconstruct a skill or a body of knowledge to its fundamental principles is necessary for effective learning and the subsequent application of that learning. The ability to take a big body of work, and then break it down to fundamental principles so that you can teach them step by step by step by step by step. So you can, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So you have to see the big picture first. And then once you understand this is where I'm going, see, I know what a team of 60,000 distributors on your, I know what it looks like. I'm thankful for that. I get it. I see the big picture. I know the steps. I told Dawn today, I said, on this one slide earlier, that it's the most challenging business model in the world. And it is. But after our call today, it's like I responded to 4 or 5 emails. I had 3 conversations on Facebook. I tried to call Dan DeMintz, and he was mad at me and didn't pick up the phone. No, he wasn't. But I tried to call Dan on Facebook Messenger. I was talking to a guy that I have an appointment with tomorrow in the United Kingdom. like within 30 minutes. And I'm thinking, you know what? It is more difficult, but it's really easier in a lot of ways if you're skilled, if you know what the heck you're doing. Because we got people from what, 5 or 6 different countries here tonight. It's crazy. So I wanted to share this with you. Uh, I wish I could see, and I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand because I can't see very many of you. And I just need to tell you a little bit of a story about this. We had been building NII, which is the company we built 60,000 distributors with. And with the exact philosophy that you're hearing tonight. And we had been pounding retail to recruit, the retail system. We'd been pounding play one, play two. Back then we had a VHS tape. So we were building the foundation, the trunk of the tree, and we were pounding it for 18 months. And we did 3 million our first year, which we were thrilled about because it's more than Herbalife did. The second year we jumped to 18 million, and about 18, 20 months into it, I realized that they were engaged, they were growing, they were overcoming all the things we talked about. They were getting through their fears. They were creating retail customers. They were recruiting people. Everything was flowing, but I realized none of them really knew where we were going or where we were trying to take them, their skill level. They didn't understand it. So we did a training called Putting the Pieces of the Puzzle Together. And it was only made available exclusively for our team. I know a lot of you, some of you were there back then, have this. And honestly, we were moving so quick and things were going. We had the video people come in, we shot it. Somebody else went through it, edited it, did whatever they needed to do. And we had like a conference that was coming up like real quick, and we wanted to make that training available at the conference. It was at the producer. It was produced in this album right here and done. And we just kept on rolling. I mean, we just kept on rolling. So when we had a fire at our office here a couple years ago, some of you know, in Georgetown, we had that fire, we had a mess, and we were going through a lot of stuff, and we found like a case of these. And we ended up, so I said, I want to see that sometime. And I sent it to a guy to make it in a CD, DVD. And at the time, we were living at the, I don't know, one of those.
Embassy Suites.
Thank you, Don. We were living at the Embassy Suites and going back and forth and dealing with insurance adjusters and all that mess. And I came home, I don't know where I was, but I came home one day and Dawn was sitting in the seat, sitting on the bed, and she was watching this. And I realized at that time, I never had seen it. I'd never watched it. And I'm sitting here watching it and I'm thinking, this is a missing link to all this. Dawn, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, I just started watching it just because it was something I had not heard you do before. And I mean, since we've been together, I mean, I've heard hundreds of talks that Dale has done at conventions, and honestly, this did put the pieces of the puzzle together, and it was just gold. It was hands down the best training I had ever heard him do. I wasn't there to hear it live when he did it back in the mid 90s, but for sure the best I had ever heard.
So guys, see, it's way down here at D&D Team Training. It's under MLM franchise, because my initial thought was I'm going to sell this for $497 and get it out there. And I just never got around to it. If you have not seen this, it's 3 hours. So prepare. You don't have to watch it all at once. But if you have not seen this, watch it, because I really believe it will help you really get a stronger understanding of where this is all going, where we're taking this. So I wanted to mention that to you tonight. That's the first thing. It's right there under MLM franchise. Uh, Now I'm going to change directions just a little bit. Some of you have probably heard of this, Malcolm Gladwell. He wrote a book called The Outliers. It was in the mid-90s. And as soon as this book came out, every personal development speaker, teacher, everybody in every niche, he's not a network marketer, he's a clinical psychologist and a writer, a researcher. But he was talking about the 10,000 hour theory. And it was like everybody that I listened to, they were all talking about this 10,000 hour theory. And I got the book on Audible and listened to it. I thought, it's genius. Everybody thought it's genius. And it is. It is. And basically what he says, the 10,000 hour rule says that if you look at any kind of cognitive complex field, and there's nothing more cognitive and complex than building a volunteer army in network marketing. But if you look at any kind of cognitive complex field, from playing chess to being a neurosurgeon, we see this incredible consistent pattern that cannot be good at that unless practiced for 10,000 hours, which is roughly 10 years if you think about 4 hours a day. Malcolm Gladwell. And again, he's gone back and he said, look, I studied the elite in different niches, sports, what have you, and what it took for them to become elite in whatever field they were in. And he said, I'm talking about the top 1%. He said it takes 10,000 hours of study and implementation. And if you think about the stories you've heard of people like Kobe Bryant, I mean, no question. I mean, Kobe Bryant, he was coming to Kentucky. He was coming to Kentucky. He'd already signed with my Kentucky Wildcats, and they let him go straight to the NBA. But Kobe obviously had a lot of God-given talent, skills, abilities. We can call Kobe a 3%er. But Kobe was relentless for practice, 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 practice. Relentless. I think about Pete Rose. I mean, Pete Rose, again, he got there before everybody. He was taking batting practice before and after the game. Relentless at what he did. He was in the top 1%, not, more hits than anybody in the history of baseball. That's what he was talking about. That's what he was talking about. And when I remember when I first heard this book, I'm thinking, it makes so much sense to me. And I think, where would I have been if I hadn't had the audio cassette? And it gave me such a personal advantage when I got involved in this profession. I mean, the stars lined up for Dale, because I was able to put 55 to 60 hours literally into the study and implementation of this business. And I had a full-time job, but I also had a job that allowed me to listen to audio cassettes for 8 hours a day. And you get a lot of insights when that happens. So I think about this, that's $3,000, 3,000 hours a year. So at the end of 3 years, I was at like 9,000 hours after 3 years in this profession, because I was working at least 15 hours a week because I was scheduling 30 appointments a month. And my third year, I finally got to a place emotionally and psychologically that I'd never been before. I broke out. And I'm going to talk about this more on the podcast that will drop tomorrow. So I'm not going to get into detail tonight. But I look back after listening to Malcolm and this whole 10,000 hour theory, and I agree with it. But who the heck today's got 10,000 hours? Most people can't do that. So I was looking and I was doing some research, and I came upon this 20-hour rule. And it's so real. Some of you have experienced this with APLGO already. And again, we all know the learning curve. It's that frustrating, awkward, yet thoroughly rewarding period of time where you go from being a complete newbie or no experience, no success, no system, to developing a basic level of proficiency relatively quickly. The average time it takes about 20 hours. And this is from a psychologist. This is from a guy, he's got initials behind his name too. Okay, that did this study that I'm going to share with you guys. 20 hours. And see, I think a lot of times people get involved in this profession and they hear, people been around forever and they think, well, how can I ever get there? Look, in 20 hours, most of you on this team will know more about lead generation and recruiting than 90% of the gurus and leaders in network marketing. I promise you. There's people in APLGO and many other companies, leaders, that right now are buying leads every month because they don't know what else to do. They talk to their people, who talk to their people, who talk to their people, and then it stops. And they're buying leads. Now, they're not going to tell their team yet to buy leads, but I know for a fact they're buying leads because they don't know what else to do. And they're complaining constantly about the leads. They're no good. There's no quality. Dale, what lead company do you use? And I want to pull my hair out. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I've never bought a lead in my life. You don't buy leads. You create your own. You become a master at lead generation. That's what you do. I'm all right. This is really good. So I'm going to take my time. I'm going to try to speak clearly. But I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Build your trunk. This is from the 20-hour rule. Find a few resources on your chosen skill and spend a few hours skimming through them to get a feel for what the basic principles are. If I want to learn how to play the ukulele, that would be good advice. As you do this, you'll notice that there's a pattern. It'll begin to emerge. The resources are likely to differ on the details, but the big picture will almost always remain the same. Spend the time understanding the big picture and trunk of the skill. The trunk we're going to talk about, but the big picture is putting the pieces of the network marketing puzzle together. That's the big picture that I talked about earlier. I love it when I read stuff that other people have written. Okay, then he says, number 2, it's only 4 steps. Deconstruct the skill into smaller sub-skills. Like, here's 14 ways to generate leads. This is how you launch. This is when you start to look at the details now that you've built up the trunk with the big picture. Flesh it out with the branches and sub-skills involved in learning that skill. This is when you learn what really, and this is not applicable because, but let me keep going. Understand the different methods, strategies, and practices involved in your new skill and break them down into even smaller parts like time management, best kept secret of the rich, and so on. It's not difficult to identify the most important sub-skills. Follow-up is more important than the initial contact. That's an important sub-skill. Place up a few books on the topic, pick up a few books on the topic, and you'll eventually see the same methods and techniques being mentioned over and over again. For me, When I got in the personal development world and I started reading all these books, I saw the same thing being said over and over again, just in different ways. What the mind can conceive and believe you can achieve, what you think about comes about, so on and so forth. I started seeing that through Maxwell Maltz or the magic of thinking. It didn't matter. Everybody was saying the same thing. Then I started getting into other niches. I used to go to every infomercial pitch at a hotel I could, just to learn what they were going to say, just to watch the whole thing evolve. And he says, that's what you need to focus on. It's like cartooning. For example, to make one cartoon, you need to learn how to construct a story, draw common shapes, construct those shapes into a simple sketch, put colors together, shade those colors, and the list goes on and on. Each one of those activities are an important skill in themselves. Instead of being overwhelmed by the complexity of the drawing, people are overwhelmed by the complexity of network marketing. Just break it down, the skill into sub skills, then further down into tiny chunks, and practice one at a time. I got to move this again. That's what Dr. Kaufman does, and he has a company called Med Mastery. The core strength is to deconstruct complicated medical topics and turn them into the most important sub skills and bite-sized lessons and videos that you can learn and go from. The focus on sub skills that will get you to a level of deep proficiency as quickly as possible. And then I wrote this. That's what we do for personal team members at D&D Team Training. We break down step by step the most effective ways for team members to get their business launched and off the ground. After the initial launch, we currently teach 15 different systems to create an ongoing supply of leads for their business. However, the trunk groundwork was done during the initial launch. Okay. Then number 3, learn to know that you're on track. I can tell everybody on this call, if you have been consistent and you've almost got your 20 hours in, and you've been consistent and plugged in, you are so much further along than you even realize. I can't even begin to tell you how much further along you are than you realize. Don't waste your time practicing the non-essentials. Again, focus just in time learning. Yeah, but Dale, one day I'm going to need to learn how to do this. Yes. And when you're ready, when you need to, then you learn it. But you got to learn to focus on what's going to move my business forward this week. What do I need to be doing? Knowing the big picture and having identified important sub skills, select the one that will give you a head start on your learning journey and help you identify when you might be on the wrong track. There's people that are trying to learn how to monetize YouTube and they've never launched their business. You can't teach algebra to somebody that doesn't understand basic addition. For example, if you were to learn English, it would be helpful to know that the 25 most common words, and I'm not going to go through all this. I think you guys are getting the picture, but I do want to talk about number 4. Get your hands dirty. The steps should not take more than 3 or 4 hours of your total 20. The foundation should not take more than 3 or 4 hours of your total 20. Again, the pieces of the puzzle training is 3 hours, but it's going to give you the big picture of where we're going. The best way to learn is just to do. Be okay with stuffing up, messing up at first. Build an environment around yourself to nurture effective learning. What are the 90-day runs? It's an environment around yourself to nurture effective learning. That's what we're doing. This means switching off the distractions and committing to spend a certain amount of time every single day to honing your craft, and enjoy the ride. Guys, does this not sound like exactly what we've been talking about since we started this? I mean, come on. And this guy's got initials behind his name. Okay. This is the guy that did it. The TED Talk is here too that he did. Okay. Smart, intelligent guy. All this whole article is right here. MLMsuccess.com/20-hour rule. Watch this video. You don't have to be Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours to be proficient and effective. You need 20 hours of focused work to start getting results and becoming effective. Okay. I want you to really get this. So here's the lead generation section under D&D. And again, I've talked, we're going to have 20, a minimum of 20 by the end of the year. We're working on several others as we speak. Okay. So we have all these different ways to create leads after the initial launch. Now, if you think about it, and you guys know this, the trunk of the tree, there's two things, candyvitaminsamples.com and North America Launch Team. Everything we do points to these two websites. So all the lead generation activity points to the foundation, which are these two things. I've said probably a month ago, guys, you already have everything you need to go as far as you want to go. And I believe that because the foundation is here. This is how we generate customers. This is what we do to recruit people. So now it's just a matter of honing your skills, you know, the branches, so to speak. So after your launch, you know, this is the most genius idea that I have seen in years to help people come together and create their branches. I'm so thankful that they decided to do that. I mean, I am. I don't even think they understand the power behind it. And so that's why we added hours during the day. So now we have one at night, one in the day. We'll add another one later on. And before you know it, people will be able to go to CMG Go Outreach Zoom 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere in the world, and come in and work together with other people. That's never been done before. Iron sharpens iron. We've all heard that all of our life. You can appeal to mediocrity, or you can set your posture and inspire greatness. This is just some comment that some lady left on my YouTube video. Yes, looks very interesting. Click my handle and you can reach me at my social media. Thanks. No, it's a link to her website where she's promoting some ludicrous concept called pre-built downlines. And I just commented to her. Appears to be clickbait. Honestly, I don't feel anyone who promotes pre-built downlines is a good fit for our Grow Your Homegrown Leaders Leadership Development team culture. We're only looking for leaders at the moment. If you have a true interest, you can complete the form, and I should have said, like everybody else, at NorthAmericaLaunchTeam.com to see if you qualify and meet our qualifications for success. That's posture. That's posture. Now, this is the most important recruiting emotion that I can share with you guys, and I promise you, I don't understand it. I wish I understood it better. I wish I could teach it better. But all of us as human beings, and we're in the marketplace, we're either value focused, we know what we have to offer that person, and I mean at a strong level, we're dollar focused, we're sitting there calculating the commissions that we're going to make if they join before they ever join, or we're survival focused. Some people need to pay their electric bill next month. So we're all coming from that place. I've had times in my life when I was survival focused. I was. I mean, that I had that stress. I had that stress. some of you've heard the story, and I'm not going to go through it all again, but I remember being so excited about my first week in the insurance business, and I was bad stress, and I made $800 my first week, and I got to order a pizza for the first time in a long time. I have been $50,000 in debt with the IRS on my journey. So sometimes we are survival focused. Money focused, money's good. Money makes you more what you already are, but some people just live in a state of greed. Value focused, people can feel it. People can feel it. And I don't know if it can be taught. I know for me, it's in my DNA. I get it from my mom. My mom will get all up in people's business. She's 1000% politically incorrect. And and we argue every time we go. I love her, she loves me. But every time we're at my parents' house, her and I are going at it. And it doesn't bother us because we understand each other. And my dad and Dawn are just like, would they just please shut up? But we're very both value focused people. And she will get all in people's business if she's trying to help them. She'll say anything to anybody. And I inherited that. But I'm coming from the right place. Jim Rohn said, you can say anything to anybody as long as you're doing it out of love of your heart for that person, as long as you really care. He talks about, you're sitting down with the prospect and you say, how long do you want your family to sit on that couch with the spring coming out of it? And you can do that if you're saying it with love in your heart for that person. And we have to understand when we're talking to people, here's what they're afraid of right here, that you're going to try to slam them into the business because a lot of them have been slammed into other businesses, and that's what they're scared of. So when you're talking to people, you just got to be a human and understand we got something that can help them, and you're not trying to slam them in the business because that's honestly what they're thinking. They're, and I've felt it through the phone more in the last 90 days than at any other time. It's like people feel like I'm trying to convince them to buy, sell, or join because that's what network marketers do. It ain't what I do. I've never done it. I'm trying to figure out if they're worth my time, energy, and effort because I know if they join, they're going to take a chunk of my time just to get them started right. So I don't want to sponsor the wrong people. But we have to understand this. What did Matt Moore say on Burning the Bridge? The minute you stop caring if people join, they start joining. People don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. If you're willing to do the work, I'm willing to play ball with every one of you. As a matter of fact, I've talked to Scott about this. I might set up a website called Play Ball with Dale, but I don't, because I'm communicating with so many people every day, just trying to give direction because I'm getting people to, I'm in a coaching mode with a lot of people, and leadership. You direct, then you coach, and once they know what to do, then you support. And eventually I want everybody to a point of delegation where I can call them and say, look, I've got 3 people in Ohio, Dave, follow up with them, take care of them, where I can delegate. And I know when I delegate that the first thing Dave's going to do, or whoever on this team, the first thing they're going to do is say, hey, we have a system. Do you want to plug into it or do you want to do it on your own? No, I want to plug into it. Great. Here's what we need. 20 reasons, top 3, 50 names to practice with. There's a video at D&D. Go watch that. If you have any questions, when do you think you can have that back to me? And take them through the systems. I have to have people that I can delegate to that can do that. And I know a lot of you are there or on your way. But I get several questions. Here's one I wanted to share with you guys tonight. It says, hey, I have a question for you. When someone tries to pitch you on their business, this has happened to me several times. What is the best response for this one in particular? So they're asking me about this particular message. I've been in isogenics for 6 to 7 months now. And I started using the product due to my passion for nutrition, all natural solutions. I started sharing it because I loved it. Eventually, I became a consultant for the company. Sales are not really my thing. So I did struggle. And then she says, do struggle with that. And again, it's not about sales. It's about team building. Everybody needs 10 or 12 customers. That's all you need. However, with the release of this new great Elixir product that has come, blah, 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 blah. All right. Now, so that's her story. I'd love to know your best response when people say they love their products or their company because of it's a common theme I'm finding. I know I want the right people at the right time in their life. I'm remember now who sent me this. And see, when I love the fact that they said that. I know I'm looking for the right people at the right time in their life. So I'm maintaining patience and going through the numbers. Thanks. I hope you're having a great weekend. This is my response. This would always be my response. And I said, another great question. I understand you. Here's exactly what I would say. I understand that you love the products and you should be a customer. If you want to create financial independence for your family, watch this video and let's talk. That's the 4 stars video. Our team is full of network marketers like you. I look forward to your response to the video. All of you on here have had a similar response from people, all of you. How do you handle it? Great, I'm glad you love the product. You should be a customer. But if you want to create financial independence for your family, watch the video and let's talk. I hope that's making sense. I'm going to cover a few of these tonight. And I'm trying to share this because it's important, guys. For me, it helps me as well. This is another note I got. My confidence and see, a lot of you could have written this, and those that couldn't write it yet, you'll be able to if you continue down this road. My confidence and skill sets are growing every day with consistent numbers and activity. I feel it. Almost every day I'm contacting through the direct message, LinkedIn, MLM Gateway, and just plain old text, 125 a day. Along with that, I'm posting in Facebook groups as much as it lets me, and I'm doing 5 of the safe list groups and attempting to figure out the others. On average, I'm in conversation with 3 people a day. I signed up one person a week and a half ago. She's attempting to get plugged in. Good sign. He knows that's important. I have 2 more that said they're signing up this week. And I've also scratched 3 off my list because they were wasting my time. I've been in and out of sales for years, so emotion is not necessary or a factor. What he's saying is the fear is not an issue for him. Getting in a routine and setting my posture was the key. Let me say that again. Getting in a routine and setting my posture is the key. It's the key for everybody. Everybody. We travel the same road. Everybody. Everybody can get there. I'm trying to be calm tonight. I have 3 people that say they're joining, but I don't know what they're waiting for. Okay, that led to this. That last statement led to this. We added this to D&D probably last week. I immediately, it's like I'm dropping the ball here. That's on me. It's not on you all. It's like, what specifically do I do? So we added this. It's there now. I've talked about it since we added it. But when you're ready to invite someone to join your team, and I talk to people, and I want to make sure they're the right person. And when I'm ready to ask them, I will say, what questions do I need to answer for you before we get you started? Or I'll say, sounds like to me you're ready to get started. And they'll say, yeah. And this is exactly what I do. I send that bad YouTube video. I need to do another one, but it's not a priority because it hasn't hurt us, I don't think. I send this PDF and I send them my link. And this is real important. And this is what I had the conversation with this guy about. This is real important what I'm getting ready to say. So they say, and I let them know, look, I'm going to send you an email. It'll have a video that you need to go through, and there'll be a PDF, and I'll send you my link to get started. This is real important what I'm getting ready to say. So I send them this, and I say, just to let you know, as soon as you get registered, we're going to get a website set up for you. You know, when you went to my website, you saw the picture of myself and my wife, and you filled out the form. We'll have a website just like that for you, your picture, your phone number, your link to your APLGO site. Our team, if our team we have a web guy that will set that up for you and every member of your team, and it doesn't cost you a dime. And then we're going to get you plugged into our Facebook page. It's a great group of people. So when you have questions during the beginning, you know, you'll have a lot of questions. You can go on there and there'll be people that will answer them immediately, because I only check my email normally a couple times a day, and I'm on the phone all day, but you can get the basic questions answered immediately. We're going to get you plugged into that. And then I tell them, and this is the words I'm using, and I tell them, and then we're going to get you access to Harvard, because D&D team training, you've never seen anything like it. It's the Harvard of network marketing training, and it's only for our team, and we'll get you plugged into that. See, I believe that when you have this conversation, like, people are looking at it and they're excited and it looks good and they want to do it. And maybe, but now I'm trying to give them, here's where we're going to go from here after you sign up, because here's what happens. How many people in the last 10, 15, 20 years, I've heard it thousands of times. They signed me up and I never heard another word. I hope y'all are hearing what I'm saying. This is real important, this slide right here. So you let them know this is what's going to happen after you get, and I say registered with the company. I don't even talk about after you sponsor, or I say after you're registered with the company, we're going to get your website set up, get you plugged into the Facebook group, and we're going to give you access to Harvard. Okay. This is important, what I'm getting ready to share. See, the mindset that I want people to have in the beginning is numbers, 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 numbers. X number of people contacted equals reasons fulfilled, because that's the truth. All I'm trying to do when I enroll somebody is I want to see, are they going to launch or not? Because many don't. Now, I got to get better personally to help to get people launched, and with the understanding that some are just not going to launch. I mean, I've sponsored multiple people. I sponsored them, talked to them a couple of times, laid everything out, and then they enter the witness protection program. I don't know where they are. It's going to happen. It's just part of this business. But I want them to have a mindset number, or numbers mindset. Now, most people are going to have some fears that they're going to have to overcome. That's why in the preparing to launch section of the website, a lot of that is about overcoming fear and setting goals and figuring out where you're going. Now, once they get launched and we give the right direction and they're in the marketplace, then I have to move into a direct coaching mode. And that's really where I'm at tonight. And that's where I'm at with a lot of you. But if you're not in the market doing the numbers, there's not anything I can coach you on if you're afraid to launch. But if you're willing to launch, then I got to coach you. I got to play ball with you. You can ask me anything that you want. Dale, how would you do this? What should I say here? Because eventually you're gonna know this is the best move. This is the best move. You'll get there. Look, Malcolm Gladwell talks about 10,000 hours. Man, I got 50,000 hours doing this. Okay, I get it. It haunts me. But I got to get you to where you can go, and you can get there quickly, 20 hours or less. Mindset. The mindset is I expect everybody to say yes. I sincerely do. I just do. It's the greatest thing I've seen in 40 years. But I respond to the no's with zero emotional attachment to the outcome. And I plant the seed deep. And I'm going to give you a couple examples here. This was from my outreach this morning. This is all I got. I'm not interested. Thank you, Beatrice. Some of you know, on the outreach this morning, this is a Craigslist response from Alabama. So I said, no problem, Beatrice. I did misspell her name on purpose. The reason, it engages their brain. It engages their brain. It just engages their brain. You know, because see, it's like we live in that. We don't get down to where the rubber hits the road in our communication. So I want you. She's promoting a network marketing travel deal during COVID. Okay, that's what she was doing. A travel deal during COVID. But everybody's natural reaction is no. Let me say that again. Everybody's natural response is no. The only time you're going to get a yes, if you've got a business-minded person that understands 9-year-old company just launching in the United States, that understands what's inside that crystal ball. Most network marketers don't even, they don't. Okay, so the only time you get a yes is they understand what's in the crystal ball and they're in between gigs, are really frustrated where they are. That's the only time. So my response, now I want you to imagine this lady sitting in Alabama. She gives me the natural reaction. And I said, no problem, Beatrice. We're contacting dozens of people in Alabama looking for the right leader. So what I'm really saying is, we don't need you. We're looking for the right leader. You're probably not the right leader. I didn't say that, but that's kind of that's what she's thinking. And then I said, if you're already earning $250,000 a year, you shouldn't be interested. She's, again, travel during COVID. But I would say this, no matter what company she's with. And then I say, just out of curiosity, what about the 3-minute video didn't make perfect business sense to you? And I'm implying that it has made perfect business sense to many others, which it has. So that's the psychology behind it. Then I put PS, for the heck of it, I attached a video that reveals why leaders from all around North America are joining us daily, which they are. Now, what is she thinking? Leaders around North America are joining them daily? Maybe I didn't take a very good look at this. And then I say, PSS, keep my contact info for the future in case we don't find the right person in Alabama. That's the response. No, I'm not interested. Thank you. You got to plant the seed deep, because some of these people will go back and watch the video and think, man, most people will tell you no. So I just reply to every one of them, and I will never follow up on her again. I didn't talk to her on the phone. I don't know who she is. the odds are, if she's doing a network marketing travel program and promoting it on Craigslist during COVID, that I probably don't want her. But I'm going to plant the seed deep regardless. Let's see what. All right, this is another brand new person. I'm excited about this guy. You guys will meet him soon. Uh, he sent me, Dawn, if I hope you're listening, I do not want to erase the voicemail that he left on the office phone, Dawn. You haven't erased that, have you? If she doesn't reply to me, then she's probably erased it. Dawn, please tell me you didn't erase it.
I'm still trying to catch up with which one it is.
The great guy that made my week, and you know who it is. You didn't
I think
erase.
maybe I didn't. I
Dawn,
hope I didn't.
we're gonna have problems right now. Don't just check it and tell me that you didn't.
All right.
Man, he left me an unbelievable message. I picked up the phone and called him, and he had seen the 4 stars. He lived through it. He knew it. He related. He connected. He's got some good goals. He does, great guy, great guy. So he's joined us, and he's plugged in. He's plugged in. He's plugged into Candy Vitamin Samples. He's plugged into what's going on. And he sent me an email. He says, Dale, how do I, and he's plugged into a Rapid Funnel. I mean, he hadn't been with us a week. He said, Dale, how do I send samples to those who request them from Rapid Funnel site? I know I have to pay for them, but how do I do it to your help? And here was my response. I never send samples. I ask them for their postal mailing address so I can get some samples in their hands. Then when they get the letter and they log on to candyvitaminsamples.com and say, you sent them there. I understand that everybody in the company is telling people to mail samples, but I don't believe in doing that. I want them to know the value of the samples, $5, and I want them to make an effort to log in and order them themselves. And I said, does that make sense? He said, yeah. So again, guys, this is part of directing people. You got to put them on the right path and direct them. I wanted to share this with you tonight because I've been using this. I like this response. When you get a website lead, this is exactly what I'm sending people now. This is important. This is what I would recommend that you do. Glad to meet you. This is Dale Calvert. It's not an automated message. Tell me a little bit about yourself, your background. What about the APLGO business got your attention? Where are you from? Attaches a video that will tell you more about our team. I look forward to your reply to this email. Talk soon, Dale. That's exactly what I'm sending right now. The video is this one. And it's real simple. It just talks about our team, what we do, because I want them to understand what we're doing you've never seen before. See, that's what I want them to know, because that's their concern. Are you going to sponsor me and then never talk to me again? That's really what people are thinking in today's market. Are you going to slam me into this program? No, I'm not. Now, I ask you guys to do a testimony on this video. This is exactly the type of testimony we need. This is from Dan. Because you have to understand, your prospects are going to be going to this video. So when they go, what do you want them to say? And I said, please just share something truthful. And he said, being part of North American launch team at this time is very exciting. The training we have is top notch. The systems we have in place to launch and build our business is sequential. Love that word. And can be duplicated by anyone who wants success. If they go to this site and they see 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 messages like that, Are they going to contact you and respond to your email? It's going to increase the odds. But again, guys, it takes all of us working together, all of us. Now, I'm excited about this. Plant the seed deep. This is somebody's 50 no's. So we're going to go through it.
We have the voicemail, by the way.
Thank you. You made my night. We got to record that, because when he's on stage telling about his trip, he's getting ready to go on the Caribbean. When he's on his stage, whenever we introduce him, I want to play the first voicemail I got from him. Good. Plant the seed deep. No more MLMs, doesn't like the products. No more MLMs. So what does that say? They've tried it, didn't get any, whatever. So what's the natural? Hey, no problem, I get it, but do yourself a favor. Watch this. Go to this website and watch the 5-minute video there, or however long it is. MLMneveragain.com. Cincy Consultant. Awesome. How long you been with Cincy? Let them respond. I've been with them 7 years. How much money are you making? Well, I got my product free and made $33 last month. Or whatever. And then you just got to get real. Are you in Cincy to get product free? Are you in Cincy to make money? And then I would send them the 4 stars. Here's another one. Working at Cincy, no vitamins. It's amazing how companies that don't have consumable products, which Cincy doesn't, it's like they it's new stuff all the time. There's no consumable repeat orders, and they condition their people that vitamin businesses are bad. There's too much competition. It's crazy, but working Cincy, no vitamins. I would say, awesome. How long you been with Cincy? Let them answer. Why did you join? How much money? Are you making enough money? I will ask people that. And a lot of people will lie, but some of them won't. It's Works distributor. If you run across an It's Works distributor, say, do you realize that the director of marketing for It Works was trained by Dale Calvert, North American Launch Team? Because the director of marketing at It Works, he worked in my office as an $8 employee, $8 an hour employee for years. That's how he started. I know him really well, Mike Patillo. So again, guys, you got to create. You're going to get no. They're going to say nah, blah blah, get away. That's natural. We all get it, unless it's the right person at the right time in their life, who understands the crystal ball. The natural reaction is no. So how well you get comfortable at planting that seed deep, I will come back every time. I'm not going to get most of them, but I'm going to plant the seed deep. Staying with Lavelle. Burnt by Lavelle. You can't make this stuff up. This one's staying, and again, I blocked out everybody's names for privacy, but this one's staying with Lavelle. This one is not going to join because they were burnt by Lavelle. It's crazy. They just didn't say block me. Lost so much in LuLaRoe. Okay, yeah. Burnt by LuLaRoe. You can't make this stuff up. Somebody down here is going to stay with LuLaRoe. Has a boutique, just not interested. Busy with my job. No explanation, not interested. Just joined another company. And it's like, daggone it. Honestly, you just joined another company. I wish I could have got to you a week earlier. But thankfully, you haven't spent a lot of time there, so you can get with us where you can actually make some money. I got a video that you absolutely have to see. 4 stars. Watch it as soon as possible. Before you do anything in that other company, you have to see this. That's good. Before you do anything in that other company, you have to see this, especially if they just joined. The only response that I would not reply to on this whole list is won't support a Russian company. If that's their mindset, I don't want them on my team. Too busy, not wasting time in MLM. What does that tell you? They've wasted time in MLM before. So what video do they need to see? MLM never again. Staying with LuLaRoe. There's the staying one. All these people up here got burnt by LuLaRoe. This person's going to stay with LuLaRoe. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Too busy with my job. Burn out with MLM. Again, MLM never again. Don't take supplements. Hates MLM. High up in some other company. And I say, awesome. How long you been with them? Yeah. How much money are you making? And I'll ask people, what was your check last month? Well, my check was $6,700. Would you like for me to get you connected with a couple that made $150,000 their first 90 days? You can say that. You know, what did Curry make? 18,000 his first month. That's how you have to talk to these people to get their attention. So I don't accept any of this with and you'll see this a lot, not starting over, don't want to start over. And it's like, you're not starting over. You're taking the time, energy, effort, lessons that you've learned, experience, and now you're applying it to the #1 opportunity in the United States. Does that make sense to you? Because if it doesn't, I need to hang up right now. That doesn't make sense. Thank you. They either buy your story or you buy theirs. And when you don't have the facts to back up your story, you're just basing it on emotions, you're in trouble if you're talking to me and anybody on our team. Because we got to get down to where the rubber hits the road. No more MLMs right now. Again, most of this is MLM never again. That's why we introduced that video 2 weeks ago. Here's another, not starting over. With her perfect company. Awesome. Awesome. What company is that? How long you been with them? How long you been full time? You ask them, how long you been full time? It's like, well, I've been, yeah. How's it the perfect company? You've been there 4 years. Come on. You have to have the guts to ask the questions that somebody needs to ask them. No more MLMs right now. I'm trying to see. With the perfect company, committed to her present company. There was somebody in here talking about they're with a company that has the perfect comp plan. I wish somebody would tell me that. I would say, what company are you with? Well, I'm with Melaleuca. Then here's exactly what I would do. Melaleuca, really awesome. I'm going to send you an email here in a few minutes. I'd go to business from home. I would copy Melaleuca, pays 35%. APLGO pays 63%. And then I would say, here's from a third-party source. This is what you pay. This is what we pay. Would you rather make 35% or 63%? And again, I might upset people. I am not politically correct. My mama isn't either. I'm not. But I'm going to plant the seed deep because I am extremely value focused. I will say, how long do you want to sit on that couch with the spring sticking out of it? And you got to get there. Some of you will remember back in the day, I had something it was like a big ninja guy with a hatchet with blood dripping from it. And it's like, you got to feel like you're just being totally obnoxious, because if you feel like you're being totally obnoxious, then you'll be about where you need to be. See, when I'm totally obnoxious, I'm totally obnoxious. But most of you don't have that. But you can do it if you're value focused for the people. No more MLMs. What does that tell you? They've been in it before. What do they need to see? Never to, again. Tired of Lavelle, our top of Lavelle not leaving. And we can go on and on and on. You see a lot of Lavelle people here. Now, my point is, when you get these, when you start launching and you don't know how to respond, send me an email. I will give you the response. Almost everybody on this call, I've had that conversation with at some point. I'm getting towards the end. I want to share with you a real radical idea. I love this. I'm going to share two of them. What if you trade the 50 no sheets with your downline and work each other's sheets? So you have all these people's names. You go on Facebook and you find them, and you know what they're doing, or you know what their objection is, and your initial contact to these people is hitting that objection head on. Like I know you're probably burnt out and frustrated with network marketing, but this is a video you need to see. And what if somebody, like, you're in California and your downline is in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So your downline goes through 50 no's, and then they give you the sheet and the contacts. I promise you, with that 1-2 punch, some of these people will join. They will. So this is something we need to really think about, because I think it's a great idea. Because if somebody gave me this, I would say, I know you probably lost money with LuLaRoe. Everybody did. It's a gangster company, but we have something that is different. And I might even send them the training video that I showed you earlier. But if I know what their objection is, then I can go right, I can hit that objection right from the beginning. Now here's another thought, and I want y'all to really think about this. Back in the day, we had an audio, and I think it was called New Image International is not Amway. I think that's what it was called. But I had a guy that was a leader on our team, and he'd spent a lot of time in Amway, never made it, almost missed that opportunity because of the time, energy, and effort he spent in Amway. So at a conference, I had him talk about the differences that he's experienced between the culture he was in with us, the money he was making, and what he experienced in Amway. It's a 30-minute talk. And then on the back of that, I had about 15 testimonies, real short, 30, 40-second, 50-second, 60-second testimonies of people that were in Amway. Now they're here and they were making money with us. They never made a dime in Amway. And that was an audio cassette. And we sponsored a ton of people that they would talk to people. Yeah, I was in Amway. I don't need to hear anything else. You need to hear this audio. And that audio did really well for us. And see, I have no problem with that at all, because I want people to be where they're going to profit the most, where they can really build a future. And, you know, Amway was over 30 years ago. So I want you to think about this. Y'all seen all these Lavelle people here? I want y'all to really hear what I'm saying, because I'm going to ask for your input on this. Send me an email. Imagine, and I haven't talked to this guy, but just imagine this guy right here. I don't know if he's with us tonight. He probably is. Joined us a week or so ago. He's launching this week. He's fired up. He was with Lavelle for a while, several months, like 8 or 9, 10 months. And he's like, I've died and gone to heaven stage. He was in Lavelle. imagine if we had a site where where you guys could go and name any company, and we have people on our team that were in that company, and they say, hey, my name so and so, I was with Shackley for 3 years. I never got above $500 a month. I've been involved with APLGO 6 months. Last month my check was $2,400. I'm excited. I'm fired up. If you're in Shackley, I understand the friends, the loyalty, and all that. I promise you, you're going to have even more of that here, and you need to look at this opportunity. Imagine if we had a place, and again, the work that it's going to take to do this if we decide to, so don't, but imagine, name any company, and you could go, if you're part of our team, and you say, okay, I want to pull this video, you copy the link and you send it to that Lavelle person, the Shackley person, the whatever company, the ex distributor. Here's where I was here. Here's the difference. This is why I'm excited. Short, to the point. Would that get these people's attention? Some of them. I worked LuLaRoe for solid for 4 years. I never made more than $900 profit in a month, but I'm here and this is what's going on. Now, honestly, it will be down the road before we do this, but I love this idea. Dawn doesn't, because she's like, Dale, you should, she keeps me so stable. But man, this is where they need to be. It is. So the way this would work, before you could access that site, you would have to give your testimony. So we have it up there. And if you give your testimony, then you're like, I don't want somebody just smooching off everybody else and they won't give us their testimony that they were. And some of you can say, look, I've never been in this profession ever, but this is why I joined. This is what's happened. So, but if you've been with the company, you can give a fair, honest comparison. So let me know your thoughts on that. I love it, but we can't do it for a while, but it's something we could definitely do down the road. 3 requests this week. What are they? First request, please leave a testimony there. Again, model it, don't copy it, but model it from the mindset of Dan here. It's exactly the type of testimony we need. Why are what we doing different? How's the training here different? Next thing, please read this article. It's awesome. I think you're going to love it. Watch this video. It should encourage every single person that we have. Last thing, understand the trunk of the tree in which we're building upon. Understand the trunk. It's right here for you. It's going to take some time, but it'll give you a clear picture of where we're going. It's right there. MLM franchise. It's in your back office. Some of you are thinking, well, Dale, I've already seen this. I've got it on my bookshelf. What did Matt say? He said, that's the most dangerous statement you can make, is I already know that. I'm asking you to watch it again from the perspective of understanding what we're doing here with this company at this time in the history and where we're going. That thing was recorded 25 years ago, but the base and the foundation and the leaves on the branches are all the same. But I need people to get a real clear perspective. And I really think every person that you sponsor, probably this is going to be a webinar that we're going to put in the preparing to launch part of it. Last thing I want to share with you, y'all going to get to hear from a special person tonight. But this team is a lead generation, sponsoring, and leadership development ninjas. That's who we are. Here's another example of a lady that I'm working with, brand new, a dentist by trade, been in 4 different companies over the last 5 or 6 years. And she said, thank you so much for your response. I was responding to one of her emails on what should I say? This is the response I got. She said, your response are really helping me have a better posture and belief. I did have someone this morning that said she would take a look at the 3-minute video, and then she told me that it was interesting, but she really wasn't looking for another opportunity right now. That person, worth another look.info, right? Is that it? .info? Worth another look.info. She said if she changed her mind, she would let you know. I'd say, okay, we're looking for a key person right now in Alabama. I would go ahead, go take a look at this, worthanotherlook.com. So I definitely added her to my follow-up list with someone she said on business. I asked her to be able to create that. Okay. I also had someone who told me she had her own health and wellness business. If you ask somebody if they're making any money or if they're creating financial independence, it's better than asking if they're making any money. But the first thing I would say, hey, what company are you with? Because I want to know. Then I can go get the numbers at home at Business from Home. Yeah, you're with them and they're paying out 35%. Also send her the best minimum opportunity, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I've been. Another woman told me, this is the one I wanted to address tonight. Another woman told me her comp plan is the best in the industry, but I know she didn't watch the video. Your comp plan is the best in the industry. What company are you with? And then go get the data. Say, well, according to this third-party source, your comp plan pays out 38% or whatever it's going to be. You can compare our comp plan with any in the market that's selling a consumable product. There are a couple of blatant money games listed there. There are. But if they have a consumable product, nobody can compare. This is what I love. Anyway, it's starting to get fun. When you get out of fear into fun, this gets beyond fun because you know that you're going to run into the same thing over and over. You know you're well trained. You know that if you have any kind of objection comes up, that you'll know how to handle it. And if you don't, you can find out real quickly. And then I love this statement. I'm learning not to be concerned with the results and just being consistent with the numbers. I'm learning not to be concerned with the results and just to be consistent with the numbers. And then she talks about safe list. Guys, every one of you will get to that level. Get to that level where when you do it consistently enough in the right environment with the right people, the right culture, the right training, you get to a level into a rhythm where you're just getting consistent. You don't worry about the results. You know that you're just looking for the right people at the right time in your life. You start having fun with this. This business is a blast. It's a blast. I'm just so fascinated by some of the things people say. And so and you're going to find the right people. And see, that's the other thing, guys. I mean, y'all have seen enough examples. And Christina is an excellent example of this. Again, she's been around this profession for a while. A lot of people that have been around this profession for a while, but they've never been part of this. They've never been part of a franchise approach to building teams. The main thing that I want all of you all to know, if this costs $50,000 to be involved, I'm going to say something just to throw it out there. But if it costs $50,000 to join, it'd be the best franchise opportunity in the country. If you say, Dale, you can be an APLGO distributor, or you can have a Subway franchise. I'm going to be an APLGO distributor because the upside potential is beyond anything any franchise can do. Because my vision is I'm developing 500 franchises all over the United States, Canada, and the world. That's what we're doing. That's what this is. There might come a time way down the road where if you're going to join APLGO with me, it's $3,200, not a penny less. You start at Diamond and you got to have $200 to get 40 letters in the market your first 4 weeks. I'll probably end up going there at some point. And it was still, and see, I'm so glad I'm not there now, because if I saw Carlos pop in here earlier, Carlos would have missed it. There's other people that would have missed it. I mean, there's people that have, hard times. People have borrowed money, done a lot of things just to get involved here. And I don't ever want to take that opportunity away from anybody. And I probably will never do 3,200 because honestly, I couldn't do that and Dawn wouldn't let me anyway. But it's worth more than that. It's worth more than that. It really is. But anyway, I want you to hear from Christina. Just her. So Dawn's going to bring her up and unmute her. And I just asked her just to share whatever was on her heart tonight with you guys.
There she is. Hi, Christina.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I first off, I want to thank Dale and this whole team. It's been quite a journey and experience for me, and I've been in, I think, almost 2 weeks now. But I've expressed to Dale, I've been in the network marketing industry for a little while, and I've done all the trainings and I've heard it all. Building the rapport, building the relationship, how important that is. And I came across Dale in his podcast and started listening to him. And honestly, anytime I listen to him, I laugh. He's got a great sense of humor, and he really, the whole no foo dust thing, I just love that because it really speaks to me. And I'm learning not to be fearful. I think that was the biggest thing that stopped me in the industry, is having the fear and of what people think or what people say, or getting that no, you take that to heart. Like they're telling you, they're rejecting you when they're really not rejecting you. They're just saying no to the opportunity. And so now I have gone through more numbers than I ever have in any company that I've been part of. And like I said in my email to Dale, I'm enjoying it because it really is. It's kind of fun responding now when people think, oh, I have the best opportunity that's out there, when they really don't. So I'm really happy to be part of this team. I am looking forward to a great future here with all of you. And I appreciate the opportunity, Dale, to speak tonight. So yeah, I hope we all win. We all deserve to be here, and we work together and we'll get there.
That's right. That's exactly right. And what has really blown my mind with you, the first time we talked, been in several companies, and I kept saying, look, this culture is different. This team's different. We got some awesome people here. And one day we'll tell the whole story how you joined. We don't have to now, but one day, because that'll be a great story.
Yeah.
But I knew that there was a lot of fear. a lot
Yeah.
of uncertainty, and you've been around 3 or 4 years, but there was a lot of fear and a lot of uncertainty. And I've seen you in 2 weeks, like now, like I've directed, but now we're in a coaching mode. You're doing the numbers. You're asking intelligent questions every day. I said, she asks such intelligent questions, and you're on track. I mean, you're feeling it, you're seeing it, you're getting in that rhythm. And I
Yeah.
know your son is your major reason.
Yeah.
You know, you got a new baby at home, and
Yeah.
it's just going to be a phenomenal story.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to have you with us. And I feel that way about everybody on this team. I just can't help it. I mean, I just think that we're going to touch some people and do some things that people are going to say, oh my gosh, what are they doing? They're recruiting ninjas over there. I mean, I just see that happening. I mean, I really do, because what we're doing, and what I'm really getting excited about is I'm starting to really understand how many people you can sort through real quick through the internet.
Mhm.
And again, I'm not an internet guy. I don't like it. I don't believe that you can build it all online. You got to have relationships. But you build, but these stories that are going to be developed here, MLM Success Podcast in 5 years, here's what it's going to be. Your all story every week. That's what it's going to be. That's it. That'll be it. Here's Dan's and Men's. I'm in Wisconsin. Blah, blah. It'll be all of you guys. That's what it's going to be. And I won't even have to speak. And I love, because there's nothing else I'm going to be able to say. I've already, I don't know what else to say that I haven't already said. But we're going to take this to a level, guys, that people have never seen. Again, it blows my mind that there's leaders in other companies and this company buying leads. And when they're buying leads, what do you think? Their team doesn't have a clue what to do. They don't have a clue. So I'm so excited again, because Christina, the growth she's had in such a short period of time from a mindset standpoint is blown my mind, really. Quick, past the fear, into the numbers. And it's like, okay, I'm coaching. Pretty soon I can support and get to a point of delegate. Christina's done her reasons. And I see so many of you coming down the road like that. So many of you. And some of you are sitting here, and I look at you and I think, they were bound by fear for years, but they broke out. So cool. So cool. I'll shut up. Anybody else have anything else they want to say?
I'll say something, a new guy.
Hey, Philip.
Hi, Dale. So I officially joined, last Wednesday, and I was going through the pre-launch training, and it was like I think it was the blueprint for one of the last trainings. And that night, I was just so excited, like the candyvitaminsamples.com, and then the follow-up. And I was like, this is amazing. That's when I put that post on Facebook, like, oh, I'm so excited. I love the trainings. That night, I was just dreaming of the websites. I was dreaming like of the systems, because I've never had this. I never had the systems. I was post on Facebook every day, post on Instagram every day. And I just want to say, like, that we're all in the right place at the right time. And thank you so much, Dale, because we really feel your heart. But you're also really good at calling us out on our bullshit. I made that comment like, oh, should I handwrite the letters or should I print them? You're like, send the letters. Get out of your own head. So I'm really
and I will call you out, but it's usually one-on-one. But in a group, I mean, I'm short because I'm responding to a lot of people. It's on it every day. So don't take it. And I sent something today, and it's like, depending how you fluctuate what I just said, people could really take this wrong. It's like Zig used to say, I didn't say he kicked the cat. I didn't say he kicked the cat. I didn't say he kicked the cat. Where you put emphasis on a sentence can change the whole meaning of a sentence. And sometimes I'm conscious of that. And I sent out something today and I thought, but Dale, you just got to send it. You can't worry about it, because if they don't know you by now, then they aren't going to know you. And if they get offended, it's on you. It's not on them. And because I got to keep moving. I just got to keep moving.
Hey, Dale.
Yes, buddy.
Quick point. You talked about experience. Can it, value focus can be learned? Have you seen Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best movies ever made. I mean, they said it was make believe, of course, but they figured the guy was there for 30 years and he was an arrogant, narcissistic, self-centered jerk. And experience can teach you value focus, whether you've been in starvation mode or money mode. And then obnoxious, that gets to be fun. Like I ask people a lot, like, what are you, stupid? I mean, literally, I'll ask them and I'll even call them a stupid son of a, and I'm talking to Western people, but what are you, stupid? So obnoxious. And it's kind of like the Seinfeld episode when the guys are like, hey, you bastards, hey, you somebody, it really, like you misspelling that woman's name. It'll wake people up when you call them a stupid son of a boom. And then one other thing is, we're programmed for no.
Kelly, Gordy, we got to clarify. These are your friends that know you and love you.
Oh yeah, this is
Okay.
warm market and hot market. This is not, but hey, yeah, well, I don't know if they love me, but they know me. Yeah, this is not internet stuff. And then as far as, you say we're programmed for no. So once again, ask them a question where no means yes. And this isn't going to get it's going to get more people to basically say yes to the opportunity. So I asked the lady today, are you against diversification? No. Are you, so based on what you tell me, are you closed-minded to a business opportunity right now? No. So we're programmed for no. So if you can put, are you against, would you be against in front of any yes question, instead of saying, do you want to go to dinner? Well, your wife's always going to say yes to that, but instead of saying, do you want to go to, would you be against going to dinner? So that really, because we're really all programmed to say no. And if you can put, would you be against in front of, instead of, do you want to watch the video? Would you be against me sending you a link to a 3-minute video?
Good stuff. That's from that
Chris Voss.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
FBI
negotiator.
negotiator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have something, Dale.
Yes, sir.
So I will do the personal video, but I usually won't say anything unless it's for the good of the team, and I think this might help. I started reaching out to some people for whom I used to work with, and I was accused of chasing the shiny penny. And I laughed at him and I said, well, you don't know the research that I did before I picked up the nickel, and you don't know how much I'm going to turn that nickel into a quarter. So thank you very much, and I appreciate your egotism, and I'll see you in a little bit. But I wanted you to know that, sir. That's one of those responses of people. Well, you got to stay with this company because you don't want to go to this one. But Dale, I did what Mr. Bowman did, sir. You got me when I started listening to your podcast, and it opened up my mind to start looking at the time frame that company was around. And the more I thought about it, it made sense to me where now they think I'm running in a shiny penny, and I disagree with them. And like you said, I just wanted to let you know, and I usually won't speak unless it's for the good of the team, so I just wanted to say that. Thanks, sir.
Yeah, and we have a lot of people like that were in the wrong place at the wrong time, not getting the direction, not getting the support. They understood it, and it's like, man, I'm going to get involved with this and run this team. Mr. Johnson, do you want to say anything? If you do, I want to unmute you. This is the voicemail I was concerned that we lost. Wait just 1 second. Can we unmute him? 1 second. You can click that little red microphone. There you go. You're good.
All right.
Whatever
Hello.
you want to say, because you made my week when you called me.
Well, you made mine for calling me back too. At this time, I'm working on my launch. That's what I've been doing. Well, you can't see this, but I'm launching on the 11th, and I'm taking in everything that I'm listening to. I am blown away, to say the least, But what's even more, in my case, saddening is for the last 11 years that I've been struggling in this business, made some money, but still have not achieved the goals that I set out. So I got my 20, I got my 3, part of the 3, and I can see this. I can see achieving these goals real soon, because a lot of the knowledge and the readings I've been doing over the last few years. So now I can see how they go together. And I'm loving the $5 letter. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a stack. I'm going to do all 50.
No, you aren't. You're going to do 10 a week.
Well, I'm going to do 10 a week, but I'm going to have them done.
Yes, sir. Have them done.
Where I can just go and grab 10
Drop.
and drop them.
That's
but
right.
I'm going to have them all done. And I'm just, at this point in my life, I'm just excited. And just can't wait until tomorrow, because it seems like every day just gets better and better.
Yes, sir.
And I have more to say later, but I'm really concentrating on the launch. And I didn't realize how many people that I have on my list who are involved in network marketing. I didn't realize it until I made the list, and then I went down and checked each one that's in marketing, network marketing. I got a ton of them. And that's where I'm starting. As a matter of fact, I think I have about 30.
Awesome.
So awesome. Hopefully I'll have more to say later, but I'm excited to be here. And like you had advised me, forget everything that I've learned in the past as far as what I've been taught by other people. And I can see this system. It's very clear. I mean, it's clear as glass. It's just a matter of putting it to work.
That's right.
So that's where I am.
The 4 stars video is what really got your attention.
Yeah.
Because you said, I've lived all this. You've been around for a long time. You knew Jim Rohn. We talked about Les Brown.
Right.
Yeah. You've been around for a while.
Right. Yeah. H.C. Peebles.
Yeah.
Now that's a name that nobody out here knows but you and me.
Yeah.
We're probably the only two. Maybe I see a guy shaking his head there. But H.C. Peebles from St. Louis.
Yes.
And so that means I go back a minute.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Glad to have you with us. I mean, I'm fired up about all of you guys. I mean, I look at Mr. Leonard and I had such a great conversation, and there's so many people here. I mean, I had so many comments last week, Mr. Farr talk in Australia, and see, you guys are getting to know each other better. And that's cool, because the stories that are going to come from this is going to be unbelievable. People are going to, and it's happened for me my whole career. I mean, going back to Shackley days, it's like, what's that kid in Kentucky? I mean, I just know what's getting ready to happen. Tony Shoup, a lot of you guys, I mean, where this is going is so exciting, because we got the crystal ball. I've never had the crystal ball before. I've had the upside potential. It could possibly, if everything, but we got the crystal ball. We got the crystal ball. Huh? Oh, it's after 11. We sit down today to do the launch, the outreach, and it's like, I'm just working, and it's like, I look up and it's like, we got 12 minutes left. We had a good day. Y'all have a great one. Please go back and if you haven't gone through the franchise training, putting the pieces of the puzzle together, that will help you. For those of you that aren't quite there yet, fear still part of it. You will get through it. I promise. I promise. Just keep coming down this road. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Hey, good night.
Good night. We'll see you next week. Hey, one other thing.
Thank you.
One last thing. Thursday, noon. This Thursday, noon. Say a little prayer for the University of Kentucky. Please. See you guys. I saw that hat. That was almost a deal breaker.
They won't be there.
They're going to win their tournament.
No, we
Yeah, they
won't.
are.
Are you mean Kentucky?
Don't
Yeah.
start on me about that. That's a deal breaker.
Okay.
See you all.